receive from you. We need to be transformed and covered by you. So God, I submit myself fully to what you have already predetermined this moment to be. And I ask that you have your way. In Jesus' name.
What the heck was going on in the first clip? How do you even explain that, though? I bet Diddy would have loved it better if there were men oiling him up. No Diddy.
Gene Deal, happy to have you back on the platform, man. It's been a while, man. I haven't had you on the platform in a long time, man.
Man, stop playing, man. I ain't never left, man. Shit. All I did was change clothes.
So I want to get right into it, man. How you feel about these rumors surrounding, Diddy and TD Jakes?
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You had to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin, drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere. So now what he's doing is he's making, man, he making the Christians look real bad right about now.
And you been to these parties, right?
Oh yeah, I was there when he was doing the white parties in the Hamptons and the whole 9 yards. So I know what goes on at the parties. If, they probably got a little bit more freakier, as time went on, because they got to the point whereas that they didn't even care. It used to be secretly, where people used to go to, separate rooms and different rooms, and they wasn't doing that out in the public, but now they don't care. Men kissing men and all this other shit. Man, it's crazy.
So why do you think he was going to these parties?
I think that he's going to the Diddy parties, bruh. If he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that it's, I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or what we told us happened at the Diddy parties. Maybe he need to see it for himself, man. Maybe he need to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they going to those parties. Or maybe he just going to, man, it's hard to even talk about. Why would you find a religious man, when you know that the saints supposed to separate themselves from the sinners, and why would a religious man like himself be at a party which ain't nothing but sin that's going on, bro? Whether it's drinking, maybe fornicating, maybe, like I said, men on men, women on women. It's hard to put in perspective unless he's involving himself what is actually going on at the parties. It's hard, brother. Bruh, you can't, I really don't know why, as a spiritual advisor to him, that they buddy while he got a party with him like that and be at his parties. It's got to be, maybe it's something more that meets the eye. I don't know. I've had, I've talked to preachers and I've talked to reverends and priests, but they ain't never came to a party with me or nothing like that. So it's hard to figure that one out, bruh, without even saying, you know, what people might be thinking. But I heard that there's supposed to be some tapes or something that's coming out real soon. And I guess we'll all really know the truth if anything's on those tapes.
From your point of view, right, when you look at TD Jakes, your point of view, your opinion, do you take him serious as a pastor?
Do I take him serious? That's not my type of pastor. You know, you got to look at a person's household, and if your household is not in order, you understand, how you going to help somebody else get their house in order? You know, one of his sons got arrested, you know, some years ago in Dallas, you know, allegedly for being found in a park where a bunch of people that are homosexuals hang out and indulge in sexual activity. And I heard his two sons, which are not his biological sons, both of them are from that LGBT community. Now, how you gonna help me straighten out my house? And to me, your house ain't in order. Not saying that something is wrong with them being and choosing that lifestyle, but something is wrong with them choosing that lifestyle, being in a household with a reverend.
We ain't trying to tell no one how to live. Just don't disrespect Christ for God's sakes. A rap mogul partying with a so-called father is a slap in the face.
Bothers me a little bit about this, and a lot of people disagree with me on this, is that, for example, a lot of these lawsuits are by Jane Does. And some of these people who are getting sued, even in the midst of a lawsuit, don't know who the person is. Sometimes it's not even revealed to the person getting accused as to who they are.
That's bananas.
And it's because, like, based on the law, they're trying to protect this person because the other person is more powerful and they could do things to them. But to me, it's just unfair because you're putting this person publicly on blast. Mm-hmm. If you lose this lawsuit, if it gets thrown out, mm-hmm. or if you lose it in a court of law, you have no repercussions. You have a lawyer that's doing on contingency, so there's no money out your pocket. Your identity's hidden. You go back to work like nothing has happened. This person has to hold this forever. So my whole thing is, if you're going to be a Jane Doe suing, the person you should be suing should be a John Doe as well. That's how I think you could fix it.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know nothing about this. This is not my. I don't know nothing about none of this, because I'm just a different type of chick. I'm telling. I'm suing immediately.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna know.
Yep.
I'm going on Instagram Live. I'm snitching. I'm telling.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this works. So I guess you have to be in that. See, they're up in another hemisphere than regular folk too. They're very insulated. They can do what they want. They got people on payroll. And the people on payroll is guilty as everybody too.
Yeah.
Because that means that you done sold your soul to watch other people get taken advantage of, and you're aiding and abetting in that situation. So you're fucked up too.
Yeah, I mean, Puffy's lawyer, not Puffy's lawyer, Puffy's bodyguards, have come forward and was, one of them said, one of them, Roger Bonds, was actually listed in the paperwork of Cassie's lawsuit, and he came forward and said, yeah, it's true. And the only reason I'm saying now is because I had 4 daughters, but...
He had 4 daughters then.
He had 4 daughters then. So that's the argument. Like, if it was so bad, how come you kept working for this guy?
Yes, exactly.
That's ultimately the argument there.
Everybody involved in all the R. Kelly shit, all the cover-up boys, all the ticket bookers, all that shit, and everybody involved that aided and abetted in Diddy or anybody who does this, Epstein and all the motherfuckers, everybody's guilty. Everybody's guilty.
And now it's getting even crazier. Now there's rumors about TD Jakes being involved in these various situations and so forth. Not to say it's real.
No, listen.
I'm not saying it's real, but TD Jakes was trending the other day.
I know it. But
for a reason he didn't want to be trending for.
And I shook my head not to say that's ridiculous. I shook my head to say, unfortunately, I don't put nothing past nobody no more.
There you go.
I just can't get shocked no more.
Yep.
I've been so disappointed in the people that I've looked up to and found out about their dirty, shady, fucked up ways.
Yep.
And I knew this before it ever started coming out in papers because, you know, I know some people who spoke about it publicly and then they got persecuted. I'll tell you, okay.
Indeed, a celebrity shouldn't have that much immunity. We shall be able to call bullshit when we see it.
Hey, is there any possible way that Diddy can bounce back from this, from your point of view?
Yes, he can. Should he? Probably not. Can he? Yes, he can. Because we have the Christian church in Black America. And Black America are suckers for a good redemption story. How many murderers went to the church, got baptized, started their own church, and began a new life? How many career criminals went to the church, got baptized, and started a new life? If Puffy is interested in the church, he could, without question, redeem himself through the church, because the Black church forgives everybody for anything. Let me say that again. The Black church forgives everybody for anything. If Puff Daddy goes and gets baptized, apologizes for all he's ever done, whether he's sincere or insincere, Black Christian America will give him another chance. He can come back because people who are guilty of things that are almost as grotesque have also come back before him. Yes, he can come back if he baptizes himself, joins the church, and professes to be saved by Christ.
Speaking of the church, right, how you feel about T.D. Jakes? Because what caught my attention about him is, you know, it's a lot of people that have mixed feelings about him. You have some people that's a fan of his, and you have some people that feel like he's a fraud. But how you feel about him?
I'm not going to call him a fraud. I think I'm not a fan of T.D. Jakes because I don't see T.D. Jakes doing enough to help Black America. That's really my only gripe with the man. As far as him being at the Puff Daddy freak-offs, clearly that is behavior unbecoming of a pastor. Clearly that is behavior unbecoming of a pastor. But he's not the first to do something like that. And he's not the last to do something like that. I mean, let's be honest. Every day we have pastors, Black and white, being exposed in this country, sleeping with minors, molesting kids, cheating on their wives, stealing from the church. It's no longer a shock to find out a pastor has been outed as being a closet homosexual or an abuser of children. It's no longer a shock. And that's sad. But my issue with T.D. Jakes is he makes too much money. His church brings in too much revenue for them not to have a school for our children, for them not to have a hospital for our children, for them not to have a bank for our families, for them not to have a supermarket to provide our people with good food. T.D. Jakes' church brings in too much revenue for him not to be a factor in the resurrection of Black America. That's my issue with T.D. Jakes.
Yeah, I mean, if he's making that kind of money, he should be doing more, you know, so I hear you on that, man. But I want to ask you, from your point of view, what do you think is going to happen to Diddy?
I don't know the answer to that, but here's what I do know. Sean Puffy Combs, from the white power structure perspective, is guilty of committing celebrity crimes while no longer being relevant to the white power structure. One thing we know about racism and Black celebrities, when you are no longer a benefit to us, we no longer provide you with the protection you need to operate above the law. That went for Michael Jackson, that went for Prince, that went for Whitney Houston, that went for, it goes for all the celebrities, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, now Sean Puffy Combs. This is why when LeBron James retires from the NBA, he's going to have to be more careful. You have to be more careful when you're no longer the man. You have to be more careful when you're no longer on top, because when you are no longer of earning potential for us, when we can no longer flip a quick dollar off you, we send you back to the plantation to be with the rest of the Negroes. You're no longer special. Get out the house, go back to the plantation. And when you back on that plantation with the rest of Black America, you will be treated and viewed just like the rest of Black America. Puffy might be shot. Bill Cosby may have been shot. R. Kelly may have been shot. How dare you do this to me? Look at what I've done for you. I've remade hip hop for you. It doesn't matter, Puff Daddy. You ain't had a hit in years. You ain't been musically relevant to the white power structure in years. Puffy should have been more careful about his behavior, although none of us, including me, would ever condone or excuse domestic abuse. When you no longer matter to them, they no longer matter to you.
Diddy can't go back on TV after throwing Cassie around like a boxing bag. Ain't no way we'll forgive that.
Okay. Diddy did an Instagram post where, I don't know if you saw it, I'll play it, but it's basically him standing like on the beach or something with like all this crazy wind and stuff going, and it's narrated by TD Jakes. And the whole basis of the post is that he's weathering the storm. Did you, I want to play this to get your reaction to it, but yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts and what you think the significance is of using TD Jakes for the narration of this post.
Not hysterical, not frantic, not anxious, not fretful, but steady in the storm. Looks bad, looks tough, but remain steady in the storm.
Yeah. I know a lot of people make fun of it and make fun of us for doing this, but one thing Grandma taught us as black kids growing up, that's just how we would start. When this weather, when shits come down, we run to the church. We run to the pastors. We run to religion. And we be praying to God and preachers and donating money. And we just convinced, or we are just brought up and trained that when the storm hits you, run to God. Run to prayer. It's unfortunate it takes stuff like that. When I went through my COVID situation, I was doing that. When I was facing my little jail time, I was in church every Sunday. I still go online and listen to church. I'm still a big believer. Haven't been going like I was going back then during that time. And there's no reason and no reason for me not to be, because I'm going to start back doing it. Find a good church home and be there. But Diddy knows that his time is short. I'm not saying that he's gonna get convicted or anything like that, but they coming. And they gonna send him through the ringer. And one thing about the government, they break you or they institutionalize you. Once, y'all tell me one black man, tell me one. There's a couple right now that hasn't eventually got broke down. Y'all hear the rumors. Y'all know what everybody say when Bill Cosby was talking about buying NBC, what they did to him. Jesse Jackson, when he was being powerful. How they broke him down. Michael Jordan. Magic Johnson. They break us down when they want to get us. They either take our money or institutionalize us. And that's in any track record, any of the track records that's out there. Y'all tell me one. Obama's about the only one that's still standing, that they haven't got, and they tried. They attempted. Ben Crump, somebody I really look up to and respect, but he only there for the money if it's a big lawsuit. I think that's where we fall short. I hope LeBron take his status and his background and do something positive with it once he retires from basketball, because I think he might have a voice. But that's unfortunate that it's the athletes that we have to do that to, because we don't, as a black people, have that major leader among us that we can all go and look up to. I saw some of y'all would say Minister Farrakhan and all of that, but just because of he can't do it, just because of the religion part. But he's a great speaker and very educated man. But y'all tell me in the comment section, who could be that black leader that we can all go to go and try to talk for us? We don't have it, I don't believe. And T.D. Jakes is who he's electing to reach out to. That's his spiritual advisor. That's why he was at the parties. That's why he was on stage. Y'all remember that? And I like T.D. Jakes. I'm gonna be honest, I like him because, as y'all always hear me tell James, is don't follow the man, follow the word. When it comes to the Bible, I'm not talking about leaders and stuff like that. I'm talking about from the Bible. And so I like his teaching. I understand and comprehend his teaching. This pastor out here in California that's popular named Noel Jones. I even like Shanice O'Neal's husband, the way he preaches. So there's big name preachers that's out there that I can't think of his name like right now. It's a preacher that Jay Prince go to in Houston, West, Bishop West. That's so there's big preachers out there and good men out there. But that's the religion, that's the Bible. We're talking about leaders and stuff like that. But that's what I took from it. That's what I know was happening with Diddy. That he just got that from his grandma, got that from teaching. Is, hey, when it's raining, when shit's pouring on us, turn to God. I know a lot of y'all be like, oh, that's fake. That's okay. So I don't like talking about religion over here on Bomb First. I don't like talking about religion, politics. I shouldn't talk about sexual orientations, but y'all know I do. But those three things are hot topics that can either go either way with you, and have people really not like you or respect your opinion anymore based on that. So that's why I don't like to talk about it. But hey, I'm sorry. I'm a Christian, and I'm a supporter of the Lord Jesus. He's my Savior. And so if you turn it off for me, tune out me, because I'm talking about religions and all that, I'm sorry. This is how I was raised and born. And it seems that's how Diddy was as well. And so that's why I would believe that he's changed to or turned or taking words of advice from Pastor T.D. Jakes. And so, yeah. And that bullshit that y'all seen on this church, people on the internet, boy, I tell y'all, the internet is undefeated. Where they showing this church empty and people in there and they like, oh man, I ain't never seen this church empty like that. Y'all know that was during COVID time. y'all, well, you motherfuckers on the internet, y'all some old motherfuckers. But peace, Bomb First.
No one doubts that Diddy is guilty as charged, but we just doubt that'll get what he deserves.
I wanted to get your take. This is a viral video that everybody's seen, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it specifically. It's an old clip from Drink Champs where Diddy shows up and he's Noriega's trying to get a drink for him or whatever, and Diddy says, "I like that, Daddy. I like it when you're scrambling and scraping for stuff. What do you think when he calls guys daddy? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, didn't he do that to Meek Mills as well and stuff in a pool or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he's been telling us. I told y'all when he was singing Happy Birthday to French Montana and they sitting in there in the house in the morning time, no females around with their shirts off. I've been telling y'all, y'all just didn't want to hear it. Y'all want to believe what y'all see on videos and stuff like that. I love what the white Jews say. The white Jew was like, he broke it down great for y'all. He was like, man, I went to a Diddy party.
It's like now a documented thing that I saw him like at a party in Miami. Like I was at a party in Miami that I should not have been at, like some real black excellence shit that I was not deserving to be at, but I went with the DJ.
Yeah.
And I took ecstasy and I ended up wandering around. We're in some mansion on Star Island and I end up walking, I guess it was his mansion. And it's all like just hot. It's all hot black people.
Yeah.
And then just like one moron with an afro. And everyone's like,
right, when you had an afro.
They're like, whose man is this?
Yeah.
But I came in and I basically saw him. I walked in a room I shouldn't have walked into and I saw him like hooking up with a dude. Basically, like full spooning situation. This guy, Felix the House Cat, who's like a producer. Whatever. I then told the story on a podcast and then his people called me and were like, you need to say you were joking. Like say you're a funny guy and like you made it up for the views. And I was like, but I did not. I saw it. And he saw me when I came in.
Were you like a little scared?
Yes. Because everyone in the room like stopped because I opened the door and was like, is this the bathroom? And everyone was like, no, this is a room where like celebrities, like male celebrities hook up. It's like some glitterati shit.
Yeah.
And then he basically had people call me and like threaten me and like tell me that if I didn't take it back and say I was joking.
And you still didn't take it back?
Refused, no.
Why?
And then I talked about it on Hot 97 and they wouldn't air it. Ebro, who does the morning show on Hot 97, so Hot 97 always kept me on a pre-record because they were like, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
They would never let me do a live interview. And I told the story and then afterwards he was like, I'm not going to run this interview because like Diddy's insane and he blew up Kid Cudi's car.
Hey man, people telling it. People been telling it. Jamie Foxx. I remember when he started speaking on stuff. What happened to him? I'll be sure. I don't know. Reggie just make up shit. Just be talking. Just because y'all don't see stuff and y'all don't want to open your eyes, don't hate on that. Don't hate on the messenger. Hate the message. I know I said that backwards, but hey, that's how y'all supposed to do it because I'll be telling you, I'll be giving y'all game and the message about these dudes, you know. It's obvious, y'all. Come on. Everybody been telling it. People that don't like him speak on it. You know, people were fearful of Puffy. Puffy was the first one, really. We give I think 50 Cent credit for making a lot of money with that vitamin water, and Dre a lot of credit for making that money with the beats and all of that. But Puffy had got up there, and Puffy was out there, and he had a little gangster in him, even though he was like to go that other route. But you'll find out a lot of y'all favorite gangsters and tough guys and guys in prison and coming back home telling all the great stories on YouTube and that we look up to, or you guys in the ghettos look up to. I live around them, but white folks. But all you people that, out there doing all of that, y'all look up to and all of that, you niggas was booty bandits, man. Booty bandits. Not saying all of them, but a lot of them. Keep fucking with me, I'll start calling names. Remember, I talk to Bloods and Crips, so I know everybody's secrets.
Working with Puff, Bad Boy and everything, man. Casey files this lawsuit against Puff. Were you surprised, and what was your initial thoughts when you first seen the lawsuit filed?
when the lawsuit was filed, my initial thoughts on that whole thing is that it was based on because she has some celebrity status. You know, I've gotten calls from 2 different women who told me that they were trying to press charges against Puff and wanted to come on my platform and tell the people what he done to them.
And I think he ain't lying. Who knows what goes down in that mansion or that yacht?
And they say they couldn't get lawyers to take it. Now you got lawyers willing to take anything anybody has to say. Our justice system is messed up, brother, because if you ask those ladies who are coming out now, they probably tried to get a lawyer to take it long time ago, but they wouldn't because of the powers that be. Now that Puff is losing that power, lawyers are willing to go to court and try to get money from him, from their clients and what people are saying he did to them.
Do you believe everything that she said? Do you think it's all accurate?
I believe what he paid for.
What do you mean by what he paid for? Oh, you mean the 30? Okay, you talking about the settlement that happened the next day.
Right.
So everything that was in the lawsuit.
I don't know all the things that were said, but you're not gonna pay for nothing that you didn't do. So whatever he paid for in that lawsuit, I believe.
You know, in the paperwork, it says that he was addicted to painkillers and ecstasy. Have you ever seen anything like that, or when you were around him?
I knew he was addicted to painkillers, because after that that incident with Kim, he used to have this little white guy he used to meet, or he would have the drivers go get the pills that he was addicted to from this little white guy who was selling him them opioids.
Why do you think it took so long for people to come out and say something?
Like I said before, I don't think it took so long. It took somebody with celebrity status who had a legal team that was willing to go to war for her in order to get some justice for her in a compensation matter in a civil suit. I believe there is a lot of guys, a lot of people in that industry that have done things and people can't get lawyers to go to bat for them.
Yeah, there's been a long list of other celebrities since this happened that it came out, and a lot of other celebrities started to get sued. You know, what do you think about that list? And, you know, is there anything there that you've heard about?
Well, I've heard about a couple of things, but you got to realize is that it's what they can prove. You know, like with this Weinstein thing, you know, Weinstein, just take Jimmy Iovine for example. Jimmy Iovine got a lawsuit, but you don't see it on the news. Why? Why you don't see it on the news? People have been coming out saying things that he said that he did to them, but because his publicists and the people that be is not allowing that to go down on him. Puff did some things to some powerful people that they're calling in their friends and everything, and everybody's taking their hands off of him. So now he's no longer the altar boy, and he's not in their club anymore. Did you hear him on Jimmy Kimmel? He said, yo, I thought we was friends. Jimmy Kimmel knew he wasn't supposed to ask Puff anything about me, but he's not part of the boys club anymore.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.
In the basketball, you had an issue with Jaylen Brown, right? Not making the Olympic team.
Listen, Grant Hill. And Grant Hill.
It's really funny how in the black community, if a celebrity does something so despicable, he runs to religion. Like, we finna reset your score because you hang out with a priest.
My favorite NBA player of all time, Kobe's the GOAT, right? Outside of GOAT status, Rasheed Wallace was my favorite college player and NBA player. I think he's arguably the second greatest power forward to ever play the game. He was better than Barkley, just as good as, if not better than Garnett. Maybe a step behind Tim Duncan, but I'm not even sure about that. I believe Rasheed Wallace may have been the greatest power forward of all time. He was putting up Shaq numbers against Shaq, unguardable, one of the only power forwards with a three. Look at Rasheed Wallace's game. He had no weaknesses. But Rasheed Wallace, like Allen Iverson, they were not company men. And because Rasheed Wallace was not a company man, they left him off of the top 75 greatest NBA players of all time. Rasheed Wallace has yet to get into the Hall of Fame. Allen Iverson has yet to be offered even a general manager's job because they don't dance to nobody's tune but their own. That's the problem with Jaylen Brown. Grant Hill lied, and I like Grant Hill. I didn't finish my statement. After Rasheed Wallace, Grant Hill would have been my favorite college player. I believe Grant Hill may have ended up becoming the GOAT behind or before Mike, behind and before Kobe had his ankle never got messed up. If you remember Grant Hill in the first couple years in the
before
NBA.
the injuries, he was a beast, man.
He was a beast. Grant Hill was going to be the GOAT. Grant Hill was going to be the GOAT until he got injured. And I just want like Grant Hill to know he's a liar, even though I like him as a black wife, beautiful wife. But Grant Hill is a liar. Grant Hill said the reason Jaylen Brown got snubbed was because of basketball. It was a total basketball decision. Grant Hill, stop lying. Brian Windhorst, NBA commentator, he also said it was a basketball decision. What Brian Windhorst said, kind of to what I think Grant Hill was alluding to, is they already have enough wing players on Team USA. They need some big men and they need some pure guards. Jaylen Brown is more of a wing player. He's more of an off 2-3 man. Okay, they need 4s, 5s, 1s, and 2s. Jaylen Brown is more of like a 3. Nonsense. Jaylen Brown can play the 2. He can play the 3. You know what I mean? He's flexible enough to do both positions. That's not why he got snubbed, because he's a wing and they need bigs and guards. Jaylen Brown got snubbed because the NBA, the teams of the NBA, nearly half of them are owned by European Jews. I'm just going to keep it honest. The NBA has more European Jewish owners than any other sports league in America. The NBA is ran by the untouchables. That's why Kyrie got into so much smoke, because most of the teams are owned, at least nearly half of the teams are owned by untouchables. Now, there's only 3 untouchable players in the NBA. There's only 3. 0 untouchable coaches. But at least half of the NBA's teams are owned by the untouchables. That's why Jaylen Brown got snubbed, because about 5 months ago, Jaylen Brown dropped about 34 points in a game, wearing either during the game or just before the game an armband that said "Free Gaza." Free Gaza. Jaylen Brown walked into the arena with a Free Gaza band. He might have played with the band, but either way, he dropped 34 points that night. You understand? And then after that, then when he said he was going to use his new contract money to help build a Black Wall Street, and then he sided with Kyrie Irving when Nike dropped Kyrie. And then when the royal family came to one of the Boston Celtics home games and they asked Jaylen Brown post-game, what did he feel about the royal family being in the audience? And he said, this was just another game to me. That's why Jaylen Brown got snubbed. All of the above, but the main reason, you supported Palestine and the NBA's teams are owned by Jews. That's why he's not on Team USA. And it speaks to the fact that black athletes don't have power, Art. They're not powerful. People say, yeah, the black athlete, they ain't got no power. What did LeBron James do soon when Israel started duking it out with politics? He jumped his ass on the internet and make sure Israel knew I'm with y'all. What did Mayweather do? Mayweather jumped on there and said, I'm with Israel. Sent a whole plane full of supplies over there. I don't know if he ever did that for an American city. Did Floyd Mayweather do that for Hurricane Katrina? Did he do that for Hurricane Harvey? He damn sure did it for Israel. And I like Floyd Money Mayweather, but I cannot condone cooning by any black man at all, for any reason, at any time. So although I like LeBron as a person, father, black wife, black children, although I like Money Mayweather as a person, probably the greatest pound for pound boxer of all time, until Gervonta Davis overtakes his 50-0, 50-0, 51-0 record. Because I think Tank, if he never loses, and I hope he never does, because Tank is my favorite boxer, Tank is going to go down as the greatest pound for pound of all time. He's going to take Money Mayweather's position. Tank is going to take it. Tank is going to take it.
He got to fight better competition, bro.
I agree, but let's not act like Mayweather didn't duck some folks in their prime, though. Let's not act like Mayweather didn't duck some folks in their prime. But here's the biggest reason why I'm gonna give it to Tank. 2 reasons. He's more humble than Mayweather, much more humble, and he's a much more powerful fighter. Mayweather was finesse. Don't get me wrong. Mayweather knock you on your ass in his early years, but he didn't have the punching power of a Gervonta Tank Davis. He was not the punching powerhouse of a Gervonta Tank Davis.
He ain't doing nothing with the
not.
power. He ain't fighting nobody, bro.
Well, you can only fight what's there. You know what I mean? But they coming. They coming. I just think, don't get me wrong, he got a long way to go, but he there. He on course. Tank going to be the greatest of all time if he don't lose. Tank is going to be one of the greatest of all time if he don't lose.
I mean, Shakur
you know what I'm
Stevenson there. I mean, Devin Haney
I like
there.
Shakur. Shakur got to get more power. And I want Shakur Stevenson. I like Shakur too. You know, when he proposed to his black queen in the ring, married that young sister, hopefully they still together. I tip my hat off to that young brother, because being a boxer, being prominent, being a young, attractive brother, he could easily just play the field and be a player and be out there. That brother married his baby mom, put a ring on it. Shout out to Shakur Stevenson for that. But I do want Shakur Stevenson to stop going back and forth with people on the internet. You can't be thin-skinned if you're going to be in a public space. I got to deal with that. I'm in a public space. You can't be thin-skinned. People going to talk about you. They're going to make up lies about you. They're going to throw dirt at you. You got to be able to take it in stride, bro. And with that, with the whole Mason Cameron thing, I didn't like it too much. I didn't like it. I like Cameron. I think the Dipset sound was a very powerful sound that was underrated. I think Mace is one of the greatest lyricists of all time. One-on-one lyrics, Mace, few people could touch him. I remember back in the day, I was hoping him and Jadakiss would do an album together. But here's what I want to say to Cameron and Mace. We are in our 40s. Shakur Stevenson, how old is Shakur Stevenson? Probably about 21.
I want to say that he got to be in his late 20s.
Right. We old enough to be his father. Cameron is old enough to be Shakur's father. Mace is old enough to be Shakur's father. Dr. Umar is old enough to be Shakur's father. Don't insult the young brother. Educate him and bring him along. When Cameron said, I'll smack, what'd he say? I'll smack the taste out your mouth or whatever. Don't do that, Cam. And I don't believe Cam would really actually do that. I think he's a stand-up guy. I don't think Mace would actually do that. I think he's a stand-up guy as well. But what I don't, we the OGs now. We ain't elders yet. We got another quarter of a century before we become elders. But we the OGs. And as the OGs to the brothers in their 20s and their 30s, because we in our 40s, we're supposed to be bringing them along. We shouldn't be publicly trying to humiliate them, you know, negatively criticize them. I think Cam and Mace had a right to say what they said. They had a right to say what they said. They were not the only people who said what they said. But I felt that they could have been a little bit more thoughtful in their remarks. They could have been a little bit more diplomatic, because a lot of people liked them. They followed them. They listened to them. We grew up on them. You know what I'm saying? So my two of the biggest artists of the early 2000s. So my thing is, to Mason Cam, don't belittle the brother. He doing his thing. He boxing. If you think he boring, keep that to yourself. He's involved in it. He ain't on the street selling dope. He ain't hustling cars. He ain't beating women. He ain't running credit cards. You know what I mean? The brother is engaged in a respectable profession, like the two of you brothers are engaged in a respectable profession. Let that brother do him. Don't threaten him. Don't smack him down. Big him up. I would just wish that Cam and Mace don't go there with the next generation, man. They should be looking up to us. They should be coming to us.
We'd love to hear what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe.